Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk about a little bit of a different subject, but I am going to incorporate biblical verses in here in the Bible because it's hand in hand really with what's happening with Prince Andrew, that has just had his titles stripped from him, and Virginia, who was the first woman to come through and make the first accusations against him, which he has always vehemently denied. And there is talk that the person that is giving the supposed hint dropping or confirming the allegations is actually Ghislaine Maxwell, I think her name is, because she's wanting to get pardoned. But what is encouraging to me is that people are starting to wake up and hold royals, which are the elitists, accountable for their behaviour. And I think this is a biblical thing. So the first verse I wanted to look at is found in Matthew chapter 18 verse 6, and it states, "Whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck and he were drowned in the depths of the sea." So biblically it states this is one of God's subjects and areas that he judges really, really harshly on. It's like you will have to deal ultimately with God's wrath. And what I found interesting about this is that people are saying that Andrew is really annoyed that these titles have been stripped from him because he is apparently known for his temper. And the sad thing is that Virginia, because they're talking about his mental health, and the sad thing is that Virginia, it was her own mental health state that finally drove her to take her own life, and she's only really getting the justice that she deserved years and years and years ago. And when she first accused him, it does not help that Andrew always got a free get out of jail pass because he was the Queen's favourite. And this is what I feel the public, but people are pushing back against, is that they are actually standing up and taking a stand and actually starting to verbally speak about that even though you've got a title, or you might be a royal, or you might be above everyone else in society's sector, there still has to be accountability. And what I found interesting is that Charles is still funding him. He is still on the Council of State. So Andrew still has power, and the king is still funding him, which to me is a red flag. So I feel this reflects badly on them, but I feel this is only just the tip of the iceberg, because you've got to remember that one of Charles's best friend was that Jimmy Savile, and we all know Jimmy Savile's background, and he was a prolific pedophile that did the most evil and perverse things he did to children. And he would go into hospitals and also do all sorts of nefarious activities to people in hospital. He would actually also do perverse acts on people that were in the morgue. So all the way through, there is a undertone of very nefarious behaviours that the royal family has always been not held accountable to. And I want to go into another biblical verse as well, which is in Isaiah, and this is where it totally makes sense to me, because it's in chapter 5 verse 20. "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." So I feel that God's light is shining on this very, very dark, nefarious subject, and that it is a long time coming, and that there is going to be more but serious allegations that come to light about this royal family, because there is deep-rooted evil here. And what struck me is that there is no coincidences, and I went back in history, the month of November, and tied up with Guy Fawkes, and that there was a movement that was actually going to, bring down the government in the UK by way of explosives. So I feel like there's going to be a state of exposure, and God's allowing justice to happen for his people. But the nearest and dearest thing to God's heart are the purity but the innocence of children. And that's why evil and evildoers go up against and corrupt and violate God's children, because it is the most purest thing to God's heart. And then I want to go to Romans chapter 12 verse 19. Beloved, never avenge yourself, but leave it to the wrath of God. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says God. And I really struggle with this, because I talk to God all the time about the injustices of children. And I cry with him all the time about it, that it happens, that there are so many children and people that get so abused by the evilness of mankind. And I have had to find peace with that, with bringing it to God, because I know it grieves his heart too. But I also know that he is a God of justice, and there will be a reason why this is coming out now, why this is happening now. And I believe that God is exposing this. I believe that there is a reason why people are waking up to holding people like that, royalty or elitists, accountable. So I believe that God's hand is all over this, and God's hand is all over the movement. But I feel this is just the tip of the iceberg, that there is more things that are going to come to light than what people realize. And I have spoken about this before, but just pray. I ask that we all just pray for children that are held in these situations, that are child trafficked, that are sold for organs, that are living in underground dumps, that are purposely bred for Luciferian but satanic rituals, because there is a lot of things that are going to be happening before the end of the year, and we've just got to look and turn our eyes towards Jesus and not lose sight of where we stand in this, because Jesus is steadfast and he is our rock, and we can take everything to him. But he's a big, big God, and the wrath and the vengeance is left up for him. But we can still pray against the satanic witchcraft and the principalities in these areas that go out and harm the most innocent and children. So I'm just going to leave it at that. If you like this content, just give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you all again soon. God bless everyone.